to the future we rise high with one heart and revolution, lifting up humanity as we rise, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn, we are the stars. Oh, in it to win it, in it to win it. Oh, in it to win it, in it to win it. Standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn, we are the stars. We are the stars. We are the stars. We are the stars.
Karma's a bitch.
Queen of Karma.
We are the stars.
Hello. Hello, everyone. And how are you all doing today? I hope that you're all having a fabulous, amazing day and that you are ready to hear from Mr. Ash Mufareh today. Because as you can see, there is this message in the back office that says, "Are you coming today? You are invited to our international live webinar today, Saturday, May 3rd, 2025 at 11 a.m. California, 2 p.m. New York, 7 p.m. Morocco, etc., etc., etc." And they leave us the link there. In this session, we will share with you updates on various topics. Page 3, and allow the panelists to ask questions live. Attending the live webinar is the best while it is being streamed in real time to your massive success. And so we're waiting. We are waiting to see. This is the live here. I am going to be watching it on Julie's channel, and you can as well with me here. Albs is in it to scam it. Mark says that he has 10 O-coin available for sale. So if you're interested, you can hit up Mark B. Sam says this will clear all the rumors that Marty has been abducted by aliens. Marty is allegedly running this stream from his hospital bed. As we talked about yesterday, he's gone back into the hospital. Unfortunately, I hope that he is doing okay. Look at those comments going on this live stream. It is just non-stop. Like, look at this. Look at it. There's a lot. Before it went all crazy, I'm only in top chat too. But before it went completely bonkers, I was reading some of the comments, and I don't know if we'll be able to get up to them now. I think it's gone past now, but they were quite eye-opening. You know, a lot of this going on. I love Ash Mufareh, sir. Jay OnPassive. I love OnPassive. All family founders, you know, because getting scammed in real time cannot be beat. That's right. We still have people saying, welcome, Ash, and your tech team. I don't know why we keep talking about a tech team, but I swear Ash said that there was no tech team. But for some reason, people keep talking about a tech team. Hand pink wavings, there's a lot of them. I mean, look at them all. Half the chat over there is just hand pink wavings. They're never perfectly on time. I, It says we're waiting. Waiting on Julie. I thought I would refresh it just because sometimes for some reason it starts up and then I have to refresh it for it to play. Hello, good to see you. OnPassive is whatever your imagination thinks it is. I mean, that's true. It's technically true. Hello, little Miss Lulu. Ash, big scammer. Agreed, you're in the right place. Welcome. Welcome, tech team and the data center. It's in a hospital somewhere. Is Marty the data center? Marty's the whole tech team right now. I guess you could say that. He's the one that has to run these. If he wasn't running it from his hospital bed right now, then we would not have a webinar. I was actually surprised. I was expecting them to cancel again, but I guess they don't want to cancel 2 weeks in a row. That would be awful, right? They never got Marty his laptop. Also, he forgot his glasses. Oh no, this is going to be a disaster. I can't believe they posted your link in the back office, Queen. Honestly, yes, Marty is the tech team. Right now, yeah, pretty much. I mean, they don't have another tech team. They really don't. Ash came out and he said, I don't have any tech team. I'm the only employee, was what he said, right? He was like, it's just me. I have no offices. I have no employees. There's no tech team. So I'm not really sure why people are like, thank you, Ash, and your amazing tech team. It's driving me bonkers. I'm going insane because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So Marty is on supplemental oxygen. Yes. Yes, he is. And he was out of the hospital for a few days. He did not go live with Chris because he was apparently resting. So I was under the impression that he was recovering just fine. But then yesterday he went back and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not good. I'm guessing he probably didn't listen to them properly when they were telling him how to use all of this stuff. I guess they had to order him a bunch of stuff to his home so that he could go home. And I'm not really sure what. He didn't go into detail. I played his exclamation of what happened. Exclamation, not explanation. He was pretty excited about it for someone that just got out of the hospital. And it started off with a broken finger. It goes from a broken finger to his diarrhea stories. And no, I'm not exaggerating. He literally talks about his diarrhea. And then he somehow got pneumonia from his broken finger. It is in top chat. Yeah, I know. When I go into live chat, it kind of messes it up for a minute. They're late. I'm like, watch them have started, but then they forgot to go live or something. I bet he couldn't use a nebulizer. Well, see, this is what I mean. He had to go home and have them come in and explain to him how to use everything. This is according to him. So the hospital set him up with a bunch of supplies. Didn't really say what ones. We know he has oxygen because he was live on the stream with the oxygen on. So that's how we know about that. Not sure what else he has, but enough stuff that they allegedly had to send somebody to come and actually explain everything to him, give him the instructions, show him how to use it all. And then they kind of leave you to your devices. And I'm guessing that's might be where they went wrong. I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say probably didn't learn how to use the stuff properly, wasn't listening properly. Marty's a bit of a know-it-all, as we know. So he probably didn't listen and then messed it up, didn't use things properly, ended up back in the hospital. Are you allowed to be ill in a cult? No, technically not. Apparently not. I mean, otherwise, would they be making him do this stream today? And I feel like every time that someone in an MLM gets sick and they go to the hospital, they brag about how they can still do their job at the hospital. I've seen that so many times. It's bizarre. It's worse than when they're on vacation and they're like, look at me, I'm on my family vacation, but it's so cool that I can also work from my phone and make money. And you're like, I don't have to do that on my family vacation, but okay. Not really a flex. I've seen it over and over again where they're like, I'm in the hospital, but you know, it's not messing up my paycheck. Waiting for Julie. I'm going to refresh it again just in case, but I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh if they come on and say, sorry, guys, this was canceled. We can't figure it out. Enough with the pig hand wavings, Jesus. I've worked in hospitals since 2003. I wouldn't believe anything he has to say about his medical care because none of it makes sense. It's very true. It doesn't make sense. And also, you can't catch pneumonia from a broken finger. I mean, I guess you could have diarrhea because you have pneumonia or a stomach bug. But I don't think those things are connected. Like, your diarrhea won't cause your pneumonia. And the way that Marty talked about it, he almost made it sound like his broken finger, which he broke from rolling over on it, the comedy writes itself here, somehow led to his pneumonia. Like, if he hadn't have broken his finger, then he would have never caught pneumonia. And I was like, well, no, that doesn't really work unless you, like, catch it in the hospital. You had to go to the hospital with your broken finger, and then someone at the hospital had the pneumonia, and then you caught it. That might happen. Founders, no more emojis. Yeah, my mods are going to have fun today. Try to cool it with the emojis, just because it does come up. It does come up. Is Comfort doing it? Is hers better? Is it live right now? Did Julie not figure it out? Ooh. Yes. Thank you, Jelly.
The last couple of weeks have been
all right.
up and down craziness for with
That's so
brother
funny.
Marty in and out of the hospital.
Then Julie
they
didn't
got
get
it now. He's going to be in there till Monday.
Oh
and
my
I'm sure we're going to hear
goodness.
some funny stories for the next couple of weeks.
I am so sorry to
on
my
his little
mods
journey
today.
he had in and out of that ambulance and hospital. But we are very thankful, and I'm very thankful for the prayers and him being back, at least on this webinar until Monday. And I do want to give a big shout out to my sister Julie Wen, who is up, who has always been there and always helped out. But she gave us a lot of help late last night. I
love
Marty,
that Julie didn't
we got
figure it
this.
out. I'm
just
sorry.
One YouTube, he said he can do it.
Everyone
So,
think Jelly's
I'm going to
we
bed.
wouldn't
We're
know.
done.
We'd
We
be
did what
sitting
we
here
had
for
to do.
another 10 minutes.
Woke up and he sent me a message, call me right now. And then we spent the next 4 or 5 hours. Got Julie back on the phone, texted Ash, get ready to share that new link because we wanted to get all the YouTubes on. Please like and subscribe to whoever's YouTube you're on.
Okay.
We want to say thank you to all the YouTubers from around the world that have joined us and put out great messages, positive messages, truthful messages for this amazing company. We are going to change lives. I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to do that. And all of you are a part of that. You're history-making individuals that 20 years from now, every one of these webinars are going to be broadcasted live everywhere to look at these individuals who had faith in something. Look at these individuals who believed in a man's vision and kept it going. So don't ever forget that. I'm very proud of you all. I'm trying to see if he's on there. I want to introduce him.
Glad she got it.
Hold on one second. I can't see. Let me know when you see Ash come on. But I'm going to introduce him anyway. We got people.
They're here, Chris. They're here.
Okay, we got people from all over the world here. As you can see, different colors, different faces, different sizes. Me being one of the bigger ones, and that's okay. We got beautiful sisters. We got handsome men, and we are ready to shake this world up. So on that note, I want to introduce my best friend next to Marty DeGarmo. He's going to love that one. A guy who I look up to, a guy who's inspired me, who's bettered my life, and I believe all of yours, Mr. Ash Mufareh, the CEO of this amazing company. Come on out, Mr. Brother Ash. This is
Thank
where
you so much, Brother Chris. You are incredibly amazing. I think we should all leave. I mean, I don't want to screw this up.
Look
This
at
is
his hair.
perfect. What you said is quite enough and inspiring. Well, I'm pleased to be here again. Thank you, everybody, and for the new faces. Obviously, we know them, but we haven't seen them in a while. I'm very happy that you're all here. Super thank you, all big thank you. And for those who arranged this session one more time, it's been a little bit sketchy for the last couple of weeks, obviously. We're all affected by our brother DeGarmo, and it's no secret. Uh, I think he would outlive all of us for the amount of prayers and love he has. So don't worry about him. He's going to be okay. We know that our prayers are being heard.
Is the
Thank you,
sound
Sister
bad?
Julie, and of course, Minu and everybody who's assisting. Let's get going. I do have good news and bad news today. So my name is Ash Mufareh. I'm live from Orlando, Florida now, and I hope this will be great. So now that we're done with the good news, let's move on to the bad news. I'm kidding. There's never bad news in OnPassive. All right, at least from my side. Okay, and brother Chris, I'm gonna
Okay, thanks.
kind of like clarify. That's what I do. Always I clean up after you. Basically, there's no low moment. I haven't been low. Okay, just circumstances and some challenges in the business, but I've been always high. That sounds like really illegal. I've never been that high. Okay, so, but I've been spiritually and mentally. I'm always positive. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I'm gonna get going by the very first clarification. We have been in touch for the last couple of weeks, which is great. There's some probably light and insight and clarity on the direction moving ahead, but certainly with the limitation or with the I would say conservation of what we can say and cannot say at the moment. Uh, there's absolutely some vague or kind of like dark areas or gray areas are unclear, and that's what we will continue, clearing for you, so that you would have, hopefully, at some point soon, a crystal clear vision and clarity, so you can better plan your life. Okay, so so far, what we've been doing, giving you updates about mostly what happened and hinting that there is a potential drastic change in the future. We have been emphasizing that we've decided change is necessary, and we took action to do that. Okay. And one of the changes, okay, or the main, I would say, strategies we are following now, that we will no longer be telling you what's coming in terms of like details and ahead of our times. We certainly will tell you when things happen, we'll update you in that. And one of the good thoughts, okay, it's only a style, that we decided to do it in such a way we will be a few steps ahead in terms
Oh, for
of
fuck's
the
sake.
development. And I'm not just talking about the IT or the technicality. I'm talking about whatever is happening. We will be telling you, okay, a few steps back. I'm going to kind of like re-emphasize this analogy one more time. When we are, I said it before, just in case, if you're hearing it for the first time, if we are in progress in the operation, okay, we are at step 20, very much likely you would be hearing about
Step 15. We get
15.
it.
We're not going to be talking about 20 when we are actually in 20. We'll talk about 20 possibly when we're, don't take it exact, okay, but it could be 25 or a few steps ahead, okay? Some steps are giant. Some steps are, not going to be that severe. So to put this in a realistic, practical perspective, as of now, I haven't talked about step 1. All what we're doing so far and have done in the last couple of weeks, we're preparing you mentally for step 1. You haven't heard anything about step 1. Certainly, as a company, as a business, in terms of our vision, we're not at step 1. Now, before that, we're way past step 1 and 2 and 3, to be clear. But I haven't talked about step 1 so far, just to be clear. And I'm going to tell you this one, somebody's going to get mad at me, but it's okay. Sometimes you have to piss off someone to make it easier for everybody else, all right? It's okay. So a genius fella, okay, yesterday emailed that concerns about the next project. The only concern I have is about your mental ability.
And Bill Musk called
That
me a
person, not you,
genius.
okay? Because I haven't talked about something and we haven't seen it. How could you have concerns about it? So it's all your delusional invention is to worry about something that may never happen the way you're thinking. So allow it to happen. Focus with me, or as our brother Bob says, focus, okay? Focus. Okay, I cannot say it the same way, but focus in the moment. All right, we are here trying to prepare you for step 1. Step 1, okay, is to move on to something you've never seen and something that we have never talked about. So how could you have some doubts and questions? So let's be clear. We haven't talked about step 1. All what we're doing, we're clarifying or just educating you and informing you the things that happened, okay, about step 2. I'm sorry, about the past. So before we go to that, that's something that we need to make clear. So, and we owe you the explanation, okay? Sister Julie, can you take it for a minute, or Brother Chris, just if she's available?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I need to take this call.
No. You
Thank you,
did not-
everyone, for being here.
You-
Mr. Mufareh is here to share with us the
just took a
latest,
phone call.
and he share his sentimental. And I'd like to
Wow.
have some of our friends here, and let me remove the pin. To go ahead, Susie, if you could please. I understand that you are very close to our great company, and I'd love for you to speak a little bit on what Mr. Mufareh is sharing. Let me take him off first.
Okay.
Go ahead, Susie.
Yes. Thanks, Julie. Hi, everybody. Good to see everybody here on the panel and everybody watching. From what Ash is saying right now is, to me, very exciting, because he says we don't even know what step 1 is, and it's something that we've never seen. And from what I'm understanding, what he was referring to is, how can people be assuming or considering certain
Like, it has to be
projects or
lawyers or
things
something.
when we haven't even been told step 1. So I truly believe that Ash is really doing this strategically to prepare us, because I think it's going to be so huge and so monumental that it's good that we're going step by step through this process. because I think too much all at once would, the word I really don't like, overwhelm, but people would get overwhelmed. So it's systematic, and I'm excited to hear about step one
We'll
when we
feed
hear
it to
about
you
it.
slowly.
Thanks,
'Cause
Ash.
you're really
Oh,
dumb.
thank you, Susie. Actually, you said it perfectly. Here's the thing. Even, there are many updates that you will get just in preparation for accepting the change mentally. Okay. And then, so mentally preparing you for that and detaching. I said it clearly before that we have to detach and disconnect from something that you think it is. Okay. Because where we're moving is something I haven't talked about, and it's not exactly nor similarly to what we've experienced before. And I want to use this analogy.
What?
Watch Red Redfern's live from yesterday. He talks about, things blew up and all of that, and that struck me in a way, made me think about. Many of you know I'm passionate about space and launches and SpaceX and NASA, all those futuristic projects and space exploration, etc. So I've been following this. SpaceX, when they dominate, the trips and satellite by volume and by cost and by, I would say, uh, productivity. Okay, uh, in what they've been doing, and this only happened in the last few years. It didn't happen like decades ago. So it took since the first trip to the moon, I think 69 or yeah, I think 1969. Okay, and uh, after that, a good 50 years plus until things got reactivated and uh, got more,
He's like, so we got another
progress.
43 years of this, guys.
I can remember when I think 9 years ago or so, when the first reusable boosters in Falcon Heavy and Falcon 9 actually first, just Falcon, the rocket made by SpaceX, used to just blow up, explode. Even before that, the first Falcon, okay, 9, which is a massive rocket. The first 3 attempts to launch, how it costs, it takes years in preparation, but the launching day, and there's not a guarantee that it would launch on time. There are other measures and value variables that
You're not going to the moon,
will
Ash.
dictate if it's going to go on time or will be scrubbed and moved to the next potential
You're
launching
making
time,
a fucking video
such as
conferencing
weather,
application.
whether it's
Come
wind
on.
or all of that, and they don't actually fuel the rocket itself until the time of launch, and sometimes that even doesn't go well. So they would have to stop that, and just reschedule the launch. But when they finally launch, after so many years and sacrifices and failures that happened before that behind the scene, even the launching time itself, it's a big thing. Launching something at that level is a big thing, and no matter how much you prepare, still you don't know until you
I'm
go live.
dying of laughter this whole time.
And what
just so
happened
you
is
know.
it blew up first time, second time. Now, when they go from the first time to the second time, it's not like, okay, just like the same thing and redo it again the next day. No, 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 no. They have to apply what they've just learned from we're not going to call it a failure, the first attempt. Failure when they just quit, when they say it's over, it's impossible, we cannot do it. That's a failure. That's it. It's not going to happen. But a part of that massive vision is to do, to enable human being to explore other planets, or specifically Mars in the first stage, which is massive, okay, and potentially live there, okay, if possible. They would have to explore, at distance but affordably, right? And different technologies that human being can do that. Travel to space safely, obviously. That's the main thing. So in that massive vision, it's not just like, okay, load this with a ton of hydrogen and liquid oxygen and just blow it up in the sky. No, it's not that easy. Okay, so much preparation in the background until they finally go, it blows up, and now another project for the next attempt. Is it guaranteed to go? No. Then they do. Okay. It did fail 3 times, and they ran out of budget, or funds. It was technically the last dollars they've had, and everything depended on the fourth launch or attempt. It did work. If it didn't work, they would have been broke, out of funds, demotivated. Others are not going to support that, and that could be loss for all of us as humans. But when it succeeds, and who's paying for the price? We didn't pay the price, okay, but the potential value could serve a broader population from our human race. And it didn't take long to go to Falcon Heavy, which is technically 3 Falcon 9 rockets, attached together, and they blow, so they can even reach further distance in space. I can remember 2018 February or something, I think it was, when in Cape Canaveral, for those who don't know, it's like NASA in Florida by the Atlantic Ocean, when it went, and it was a success. It's a massive rocket. It's like 3 major massive rockets into one. It's incredible. And since that time, technically around the same time we started working on OnPassive, I've been inspired or influenced somehow by their tenacity and their persistence to succeed and further and do it right, okay, every time. And every time we've attempted to do something and like prepare for the launch, in my mind, I say, you know what, this could blow up. So I can scrub it so we can do it safely, and I reschedule. I've said it to you before many, many times. We prepare to open something or to launch it, and I didn't sign up on that. I didn't approve it, so you didn't know, but it doesn't mean it was not prepared, or there was no work, or it was no challenges and all that. That was kept away. When we finally have something to show, and again, the very last attempt was in September 2023 when we've launched OConnect. Technically the first paid product out to the public, or at least given a priority as promised to our founding members from OnPassive, that we've been working for, in the background for a few years before, until it went to the public. Forgive me for this exact analogy, but it would make sense to you if you just understand that when you want to launch something, it's worth to say that it's not guaranteed to go well the first attempt. It doesn't mean a failure. It's an attempt. It's a try. It's a test. When it's something big, okay, there's so many variables and aspects involved, there is a high risk of something breaking. Do you want to talk about, legal challenges that were, we got to deal with that in the background. Do we want to talk about some ethical challenges from incompetent managers? Do we want to talk about other things? We're basically
What other things?
deceiving us from our own team on both sides, company internally and our users. So all that played to give us, and I wasn't, very motivated at the level of what do you call it, technical quality. But I compromised to say you've got to have to go through step 1 in order to go to step 2 and 3 and 5. You have to
It says
go
internet.
that mile and then apply all the lessons. I wasn't certain that this is definitely it, and just okay. From that time, immediately after opening OConnect, I realized this is not the ideal team. Simple thing. There, when I hired the CFO, that I said, okay, I need these 20. I didn't say find 20 different payment processors. I said, use these 20, line them up, A, B, C, D, all the alphabet, okay? So I can have that. They got a couple of years in preparation, and we were delayed from 2022, if you remember, the World Cup in Qatar in November, until technically 10 years later, 23, when we opened for payments, right? And we didn't even have a proper payout. It was just something so manual. They had a couple of years in preparation and didn't do that. So I knew we're not prepared enough. So I wasn't pushing more payments. That's why I made it 3 years, and I didn't renew. I didn't charge again. All those things,
Exactly, because
because
you
I just
couldn't.
don't want to collect money for something I'm
Not
not
to be
passionate about.
nice, not to be giving. That's actually why.
So it did blow up when we just launched, just like that rocket. Does it mean we failed? Absolutely not. I refuse to say we failed. Now, we're going to have another launch, right? Technically, do you think we just
Oh no.
will load it up like another rocket and just throw it in the sky? That's not how it works. There's so much that you have to apply in your operation until you go to the next launch.
What?
Now, the good news and the bad news. The bad news first, okay? Take the unpleasant away. This is like a leadership style. A lot of people, they like, to do the unpleasant first. Like you do your salad first, then the steak, and then dessert, all of that. Let's do, the same style, and then, but occasionally I like the good, beautiful, sweet news first, basically dessert first, and then we talk about salad and whatever, if we have room for that. But the unpleasant part that scientifically is good. Let me just say it before that, but in reality, it's so much loss and losses, which is that launch that blew up is not reusable, and there's no possible way that you can repair it, stitch it, and let's go back. That includes OnPassive. That includes OConnect ecosystem, all of that. I'm talking about the same business, the complete business model. If this language is a little bit,
Just say more.
indirect or not as friendly for some of you. I know many of you understand me so good. Don't worry, there are better people who will explain it to you in plain English and like simple terms to unpack it. And you will get it, all right? But understand that we cannot use the same exact business model, the same exact technology, the same exact code and all of that and fix it and just blow it up again. That
Oh my
potentially
God.
is just gonna blow up. It's gonna, not
Everything's
work.
blowing up.
Not gonna use the word fail, okay? But that will be insane because we're gonna repeat the same thing and expect different outcome or different results. It's not gonna happen that way. Gotta change. Got to change. Now, when I tell you we're gonna move on to a different chapter, different direction, all that, logically, all right, I'm going to use that word again. You have to apply all the lessons learned from
He
that
doesn't know what it means, but he's going to keep using
attempt,
it.
plus behind the scene thing. So one thing, can you do it with the same people that they deceived you in the first place? That's insanity. Can you do it in the same
This is
place or
insanity.
location? Duh. All right. And can you use the same code and try to fix it that I was not thrilled in the first place with? It doesn't mean it's bad or you didn't put the effort or the engineers in the first round, they didn't do their best. This is what we've achieved. Same thing with that rocket. Are they bad? No. It just, this is what they've achieved. There are lessons. You have to
What?
consider them. Cannot
Now
do
the
them again.
tech team was good.
Or you're going to have the same results. So are you understanding that how crucial it is for us to change? We've got to change dramatically, not a little bit, completely. Where we were working took us to a certain level. Now here's where I'm going to tie this up all together. Okay, then we move on to the good news. Okay. Now, the things that went wrong or didn't succeed in the first place, they're a part of the journey. Let me apply that again. SpaceX couldn't go to where they are today without blowing up some rockets in the first place. Without that, that's a part, a major, major step and part of the overall process. That major vision still there intact as space exploration, invading, or going traveling, if you want to say, to other planets, still there. We haven't achieved it yet, by the way. There's so many steps, like millions of steps in the operation to get to the first step to launch that didn't go well, but mentally it's accepted because it's a part of the journey. If hadn't they blow up the first 2-3 rockets, right?
Oh, for crying out loud.
I'm talking about those like official launches. Imagine how many like
Oh my God.
models and prototypes and
Come on.
things that just we didn't even know about in the early stages. Hadn't they, like let's say, didn't succeed in those 3 launches prior to the fourth one, which was a success. If they went and it went 1, 2, 3, 4 rockets, let's say, fine.
Okay.
What if we got to the point where we had the Dragon rocket, right? Or
What?
shuttle, basically, that we inhabited with occupied with astronauts, and then it blew up.
Oh my.
It's a
What?
good thing that you
What?
blow up. Sorry, for that term, but it is what it is. Okay,
What are we doing?
break before you get as big, and then you get over your head, and
What?
you believe that's it, you got it, and then things will blow. Okay, let me put that in on passive perspective. If we went
Put
live
it in someone's
with crooks
perspective.
and thieves back in 2023, and we start making sales of roughly $100 million, which is technically that was our pace in the first month. It's been what, a year and a half now? Okay, yeah, a year and a half. 18 months, that's 1.8 billion, I guess, something like 2 billion, give or take. And now they decided to, raid on the main robbery that they did. Thank God it was back then. They could have waited because they fooled us, right? To a point, they could have waited, but God is greater. So everything is normal, is natural, is realistic. Nothing is unique to us. When you build something big, it doesn't mean it's going to work the first attempt. And that first attempt that it doesn't work is not a good success, or not you really shatter the world, right?
Okay.
It is a part of the process. You cannot skip it. There's no shortcut.
But you fucked it up.
It's like everything about our life. There's no shortcut to success. There's
You
no
refuse to take
shortcut about
accountability and
launching,
learn. I don't think
let's
you've
say,
learned anything.
potentially the largest AI IT company. How could you do that without, learning curves in the beginning? Speaking of shortcuts,
Right? I was
okay,
like, at least
a lot of
somebody knows
people
what he's
think,
talking
you just
about.
swallow
So
that
I have
pill
no clue.
and you're gonna look
For all I
as
know, he's talking
beautiful
about real
as
dragons. It's Ash
Chris
Mufareh.
Johnson, and as sexy and muscular and all of that, and buffed, or John White, Susie's boyfriend.
Still don't know why we're talking about rockets so much.
I don't think it's realistic for those who thought, like, okay, just by opening OnPassive, their life is completely fixed and all of that. They're going to be healthier.
Right,
They're going
Lamar?
to
Like, I have
be
no clue.
better looking. They're going to be wealthier, all that. No. What did you do? And how do you apply that? So in order to move on to phase 2,
Oh
or
my God.
the next chapter, if you wish, you've got to have a better mindset, or proper expectations. I never told you, I wrote a book years ago about weight loss
Where
and
is this book?
being fit and ripped and all of that.
I
Okay,
need to find this book.
that book was never published
Damn it.
because it's just like 2 sentences as a joke. A
Oh.
lot of people, they were like, you know how many books and courses and programs about
Okay.
diet and losing weight, and how many pills and potions and lotions you can do that, like they will be magical, all that. Can I tell you a secret about having the proper size or weight? Put your fork down and move more. That's it. Hashtag Ash
Wow.
Mufareh, your future trainer. If you like that, it is going to work for you. A lot of people think, oh, it's a waste. There's no shortcut. You've got to go through the pain. It's not a wishful thing. I'm going to use my friends in
Trying to
South
cure
Florida
depression. I just smile.
that Barbara
It's
had
great.
to do. She did what do you call that to remove the fat? Basically, a surgery. All right, okay, fat removal. Literally taking chunks of her
Like a
flesh
liposuction or
and then stitching her back.
or
Shortcut, right? You
gastro?
remove
Like,
like
what do you?
something that happened over many, many years. Just go to an operation, open, done. Few hours later, oh yeah, you're fit, perfect. Yeah, they did that. But apparently it caused bigger issues. It was a successful operation, right? They did what they did, but too much fat with the body size and the bone and the structure and the skin of her, she couldn't stand up because it was not proportionate.
What?
The bone and the structure of the body was accustomed to a certain size. Take that, it just crashes. Plus all the the
No.
saggy skin, all of that. So it created a bigger problem. On the other side, somebody's doing it naturally. Our brother John here, okay, organically. I don't. It doesn't look like he had that problem because he didn't do the shortcut. People overestimate what could happen, like in short period of time. OnPassive is going to launch, or we're going to open this. We're going to be wealthy. It's done.
He's
But
making this up.
they
This is not a true story.
drastically underestimate what could happen over time in a natural organic process. All right, let's wrap this up. What we've been talking
What
about
are
so
we
far is not
wrapping
even
up?
step one. And if you have concerns about the next project, okay, reset.
I have a
You
lot
shouldn't.
of concerns.
We haven't talked anything about the next project. Okay? Don't worry about that. We still have things to fix from the past and apply so we can take you to the next project. I'm going to also tell you the good news.
What was
That
the bad news again?
part, allow me to say, I'm not going to take credit for it, okay? This is God's work. That
Oh, shut up.
in that transition, we've been tested for the first one, second one, okay? But we're here. That didn't change. Obviously, with a bigger vision, with a bigger project, right? Okay, higher confidence. How so? It's not because of my, beauty in a way. It's because of the actual
Oh my lord.
mechanics on the ground.
As you make an atheist pray.
Being with exceptional people. I would say extraordinary people. That is gonna determine where you go.
Extraordinary.
I'm going to give you an example. We're not reopening O Connect. I'm going to put that in perspective. Not reopening O Connect. Can we do that? Yes, absolutely. But if I offer you something 300 times better, as good as O Connect, it was good for that time, what would you say? Is that going to crush Zoom like instantly? Yes, that was the hope and the goal in the first one. Not to compete, but because we believe we could do more. And one of the
More than
challenges
what?
is like
Then
Zoom has been doing
who?
it for for so long. I'm talking realistic IT challenges. The companies like
Realistic
Microsoft and
IT challenges?
Zoom and all that, they've been in business ahead of us in the game,
This man does
live using
not
them.
work in IT.
And they
ever.
didn't get to where they are today overnight. Did they have setbacks? Did they have challenges? Yes.
Oh my lord.
But progress over time, little by little, there you are. So how could we have advantage
What?
not to have 20 years in preparation, in progress, so we can get better results? We don't have that time. We cannot go back and restart with them, right? The only way to overcome that is to get the
Pay your
people that
bills?
have built those
Oh. A what?
and avoid, let's say, their setbacks or their
He has no
challenges.
clue.
That
He'd
something
be
that
like,
took
what is
them,
that?
let's say, 5 years, one feature, for example, to scale it to a certain level. If you get somebody who is knowledgeable,
Oh my.
not to take them where they are, okay,
We
or
can't just hire anyone off the
to
street to do
implement
your
something
fucking
where
IT
those
ad.
companies are, okay,
Jesus
but
Christ.
actually 5 years ahead. You overcome that challenge. So I don't believe that you have to process and stuff. We've been working in the background. It doesn't mean like it's going to be overnight. Okay. So all those elements
Okay, who's been working? Yeah.
and activities will take us to a place that we haven't reached as public now in terms of technologies, at least what we want to offer.
Huh?
Let me clarify this. If there is something that we're just going to reach it to where it is or less,
What?
pure insanity.
Yeah,
Why would
this
we do
is.
that? If there's something that is satisfactory the way it is, or, fine, why would we do it? Go back to SpaceX. We're going to do something that is more valuable, better features, more advanced,
Then SpaceX?
okay, more user-friendly, and way affordable in terms of price, and give back. Very different model and more complete, more integrated. Okay,
Oh,
so we can humanize our technological, journey.
no. What?
So I have talked to you about a few topics in the past, like SEC and where we are and where we're going to go and all of this. I'm going to
Okay, yeah.
revisit
That
that.
makes
So
sense now.
will be hopefully a better clarity for everybody. I'm going to get more specific now if that was a little bit, kind of like vague and more, I would say, preaching. Forgive me for that, but I feel better. So thank you for putting up with me. I'll let it out now. Okay. Back to
Okay.
like
You're
simple
welcome.
terms. SEC, I've given you an update that we're working out on something before, and we're, in a very advanced phase to do it. I said this before. I'm going to say something. Maybe you like it, you don't like it. I will not be given further details on the process, okay, until I have potentially a final update, okay? So at the moment, as everything else, it could blow up in the last minute. It could. It could be scrubbed. It could be modified. It could be, some surprises appear.
Sometimes I feel
Or
like
some
I
of what I
am.
say could be impacting negatively the outcome. So I decided not to get into that. We do have a case with the SEC. We don't believe we did cause any harm to anybody. We did not admit, anything or all that. It's a painful process. We went through it. We've been going through it. Cost us millions of dollars, for legal that and potential loss for the time and the reputation. It's like you cannot even put a price on that. It's really big, 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 a drag for us. So that happened, and we're hopeful with your support and belief for the good people, okay, uh, that eventually, the truth will emerge and it will come out, and then this will
So
be
they didn't
behind us. It
accept your
will certainly
settlement?
free us from so many burdens and obstacles, so we can move lighter and, I would say, more effective. All right. So don't expect minor updates here and there. on the process. If you hear something not
So
from
it's
me,
continuing?
please don't waste your time on it. It's rather manipulated, or somebody's, doing that for a couple of cheap clicks or whatever, or bait title. Or I am not talking about that topic until I have concrete updates. All right. There's a process. We have the most incredible, talented, I would say, in my opinion, I wouldn't ask for a better legal team to represent us and the company. We're in
Oh,
good
yeah.
hands. So all of that is taking place. So let it go when it's done, or however it ends. Okay. I don't know
I
when
guess
and
it's
how,
still
but I'll
going,
give you an
guys.
update. I do have, certainly my details and all of that, but I decided not to bring it up to the public, if that makes sense to you. All right. I
Because it
don't think
didn't
this will in
happen, or
any
they
way
accepted it.
impact our future or our next chapter. This has nothing to do with it, but it's something that unfortunately I had to go through it. I've suffered the most as company, as individual, with my family. Again, time, reputation, and money, all of that plus. Okay. So, but it does not impact our dream. Put it that way. And now I want to clarify something about so we're going to wait until this done. So we move on to the next chapter. I never said that. Let me be
You're awful.
very,
I don't know what
very
he's
clear
talking
to you.
about.
Until now, today's date, okay, May the 3rd, 2025, we've never been banned or stopped to practice OnPassive or to operate as OnPassive. There's never been a decision to shut down OnPassive, nor we expect this would happen. So this is delusional, and this is hypothetical for those who thought that it's OnPassive, we're going to reopen. We've never stopped. It was, yeah, there are certain things that we didn't bring to you or shared with you, but logically, there's so much going on. The legal battles, obviously, to pinpoint the evidences and all of that, so we can fix it and move forward and decide about, previous model to next model, all of that. Okay. So what we bring to you is, we believe, will help you have a better clarity for those who care. Now, some
Oh,
people,
Lord.
here is the insane level, and I really want to hopefully help you in not just in this area of life, which is OnPassive business, or okay, in general.
Oh,
If
thank God
somebody
for
is
that.
less qualified
Oh,
and
at
not a
least you
part
want
of the
to help.
process, you take them as your source of information, and all they're doing is injecting poison in your dreams, doubting yourself, all of that, and something that you, at least emotionally, you felt this is something good or positive. You want it in your life. And somebody's trying to spoil that and screw you up. And you have a choice not to listen to them. Can I tell you something? It's your mistake. Why are you allowing the devil to talk to you?
I'm the devil? Awesome.
So we have people who are in OnPassive, obviously, and
That made me way too happy.
been with us. They're behaving in a way that, whether they're doing other businesses or taking people, or they don't just shut up and be quiet about their negativity, all right, or their doubts. It doesn't mean the whole thing is a failure. If they failed mentally, okay, or
Listen,
however,
protecting
okay, mindset
consumers
wise,
and
if
speaking out against
it doesn't
harmful
mean that we
behavior
did.
is something that Satan
We
would
have dream.
totally do.
We will not let it go. We believe we're going to do it in a much better way than we previously said. I don't know if you understand farming, but some of you may do. Okay, you know that mango tree. Uh, the fruit is heavy, and that stem for some reason it doesn't hold it. Okay, and so they fall off, but they're still good, juicy, yummy. Okay, uh, and
Ash hates
in
mango.
fact, specifically in
He said so.
far Asia, let's say
Said they're awful people.
Japan, even Thailand and anywhere east, like South Korea, all the. I've seen how they farm mango. They have like a mesh bag somehow. Okay, it
What are you
protects it, and
talking
they
about?
hang it. So
Now we're talking about
with the
mango.
branch. So when it falls off, still hanging, and it also protects it from other animals such as birds, whatever. Okay, right now
I don't
uh,
know.
I'm going to use the analogy.
What are we doing?
Okay, and peaches, on the other hand,
We're
if
having-
it falls
now
off,
we're
it's
using an
rotten.
analogy
Okay,
for
it's
the
bad. Don't
analogy.
eat it. Right.
Is what's happening.
So if you're an OnPassive member as of now, and you're thinking you're going to drop out or drop off, okay, completely, fall like a nice mango. Don't drop like a rotten peach. All right. So still juicy, edible, and yummy. So you don't have to. Anybody stole something from a hotel before or broke something, and like, not because you're leaving, nobody's going to use it, or you don't have to spoil it. You don't have to spoil it. I just leave that to your imagination. I'm not the Pope. You don't have to make a confession here. Okay. So we all know what happens. Okay. So not because
This
you're
has been the
leaving, you
most
have to screw it
ridiculous
up for the
rant in a
next
long
person.
time.
For those who are leaving or they don't want to stick around, I love you because you're leaving, but I don't appreciate your causing noise when you leave.
Okay.
You know why I want you to leave? And I like that because remember some of the mistakes that happened in the first round,
Don't speak up
previous
about me when
chapter,
you leave.
is attracting some wrong people with the wrong mindset. And when they are going automatically, this is God's gift. I love it. Okay. We don't want them to go with us to the next chapter. That's a part of our better success. We want you to leave. I'm not swearing that you have to go with us and all that. No evidence. If you don't believe it, with a good kiss, okay, adios. But don't rot like a fallen peach. Stay cute like a mango.
Okay. Mango.
OnPassive never been shut down. I don't expect it to be shut down. Whatever we decide to do with it is our choice.
Not
Why
if
did
the
they come in this
SEC says
battle?
you have to
So I
shut
can
it
shut
down.
down?
Then you have to shut it down, guy. Too bad for you. Like,
I want to clarify one more thing. A lot of people are attached to the brand, OnPassive, love the name, all of that. Yeah, sure.
oh, but it's not shutting down, so you're not changing it, of course. Right? That would be dumb.
Is it we're just changing name and moving forward? Absolutely not.
But you
It's
are
something
changing the
that is
name?
not OnPassive. How could you call it OnPassive? So OnPassive is there, is staying here, is not going anywhere. A lot of people say, you said,
You're just not going to be in
I'm
it
going to be
anymore.
very also transparent. Many people recall we said only God could shut us down, right? Or bring us down.
Uh-huh.
Still valid. Doesn't mean the brand or the specific way of doing it. I'm talking about the whole theory. I'm talking about the whole vision. I'm talking about the whole dream. I'm talking about the whole project. If there's a tactical way that you have to do it or do it, sure, be open to that. You're going somewhere, you get a roadblock or something blows up, right? And your final destination is almost within reach, but you say, no, no, I'm just going to do it in this way, this specific road or street.
Uh-huh.
You're going to be blocked. You can camp all you want there.
But you are shutting down OnPassive then. This is something new.
You want to go to the bathroom and like you want to have a battle with your system and say, no, I'm not going to do it now. You're going to crap in your pants. Don't
Okay.
be stubborn. You have to change it. You have to go with the flow.
Yeah, Marty. That was unnecessary.
I'm
So much talk about
leaving
pooping.
a breather for the imagination, for the graphical.
Oh, you're picturing it now. Lovely.
The question is here, okay, are we going to have to wait for the SEC case to end up or to settle or whatever happens, okay, for that
Obviously, you're
outcome,
not
then we move on to
settling.
the next phase? Okay.
You
Okay.
have until Monday.
The short answer is no, we don't have to.
Oh, no.
Are we choosing to? Absolutely. It's a preference. Another thing, does that mean with this case over, that means reopen and resume everything as it was in OnPassive? Absolutely no. I can tell you right now, if you're waiting for that, whether it happens next month or I don't know, 20 days, 60 days, anytime it happens, okay, let's not put a time on that. When it happens, you're going to expect, okay, go back, buy, or get paid or whatever, I don't know what you're waiting for, okay? Because a lot of people, like I know 95% or more who don't have commissions, but for some reason they expect when we resume, for some reason, they're going to get paid automatically. This is a part of the delusional mentality. Okay, it's not going to
Yeah, you're all
happen. It's
delusional.
not going to happen. Not
all-rounders.
when this case is over. We're going to resume and do the same thing. I'm telling you. Also, are we shut down? Are we decided that's it? It's over. It's a dead animal. No, I'm not saying that. I could have said, you know what? I'm going to bankrupt OnPassive. It's over. I'm freed from any responsibility. I see you in a better life, right? I could have done that. So we're choosing
Wow.
not to shut it down. We're not
We're
being forced to shut
low.
it down. We're not resuming in the way most people are expecting. Are we having a specific plan? I'm going to be very honest with you. No, I don't have
Oh
a
my
plan
God.
how to further
Why
proceed
not?
with OnPassive.
How come? Why don't you have a plan? What
Can I
is
tell you
that?
why?
How do you run a business for 7 years with no
Do
plan?
you insist? You want to know why? You have to beg me. I'm kidding. I'm just testing the attention span. Okay. So it's very simple. I'm going to tell you voluntarily why we're not, we haven't decided that, because we have something greater. Very simple. We have something greater
Like the
that
most roundabout way.
you might like it.
We're caught in the
And you're going
roundabout.
to tell me,
We're driving
thank God
in
you didn't
circles,
do
Heather.
this
We're just,
or didn't
we
resume the
can't
same
get out.
cycle. We
We're in
will
that
lose
awful one in
some,
Quebec.
hopefully by design, rotten peaches. It's
You know,
okay, or
you know.
fruit. That's good. But we're going to have the cream with us
Isn't cream?
by design. Okay. Am I obligated to take you with me to the next phase or chapter or whatever it is?
Obligated.
Next project? No.
Wow. No. Okay.
Do I owe you any explanation about that? No. We're here in OnPassive. OnPassive, technically blew up on the launch. Thank God it happened then.
I thought it wasn't over though.
Am I fixing it, stitching it? No, relax.
Wow.
I hope I'm like touching the points that you want to know before we move on to like more, I would say, topics or things.
Oh, you are Ash.
And
More
I've
than
talked
you know,
about the
motherfucker.
next chapter somehow. Mostly, I said what is not, right? I said it's not MLM, it's not it's not passive income, it's not OnPassive 2.0. I said that, and I want you to be clear. The next chapter is not an investment, and nobody's paying for that. Nobody's entitled nor entitled for any whether update or invitation.
Wait, by invitation.
The next chapter has zero hype. I don't want anybody to hype. That's why I'm not going to let you say the story before, I'm choosing who would qualify this time to go on with it. Can I
Oh,
tell you
no,
a
we're
secret?
building
I
the
don't know if you
now.
know. Really? Okay. I have a couple more friends that you've never met. In the digital marketing area, basically marketers and master recruiters and heavy hitters and all of that. I did not invite them yet to the first time. They know what I could do, and they have been telling me to invite them, and I refused.
Shut up. No one's telling you that.
I will
Who?
only do
Name one.
when I'm satisfied about the value. So everybody you know or came so far, mostly, I didn't even invite them. Or we haven't done business before or prior to this. There are a few that knew me before, but it doesn't mean I have invited them. When they found out it's Ash Mufareh who's doing this, they just ran. So why I think the next thing is going to be a lot bigger? Because now I'm feeling confident to invite my friends.
This is an awful time to invite your alleged friends. This is probably why you don't really have friends.
To market myself, not to promote and market myself as Ash. I'm talking that I will do the marketing. I am passionate and excited to share this. Talking about the next chapter.
You just said no hype. What?
So if you're skeptical, if you're not sure you're going to do this, you're capable of doing it, okay, there's no obligation. If we owe you anything in OnPassive, we will never settle.
Right? What happened to
We
him?
will never, ever settle before we make this right to the best of our ability. So do you promise, like, okay, you're going to put Chu in our team? I got that insane question before. Let me be patient about not, being disrespectful. If that path is not going to continue, what's the point of doing that step? Allocating the marketing or the extra positions that we have, etc. Right? More than 95, 96 people don't have commissions, right? With all the respect, is none of your business to bring up the topic about the other 3, 4, 5% who will qualify for the commission. Those people will certainly be pleased at the end. I'm going to throw a hypothetical.
Oh, please
outcomes.
don't. I can't take any more.
I need to back up, okay, because this, again, the legal.
Get ready,
thing, but
guys.
the robbery that happened from our individuals, okay, in Dubai, in that time, the whole target was $52 million that are a part, not everything. Revenue came from O'Connect. They wanted to hijack that. They did what they did. That is not within the 52 million. Their activities caused, okay, or actions caused this to get more complicated, okay, and got frozen. At some point, this was imminent, about to go out. Am I happy that it didn't? Thank God, okay, it didn't go, because they would have hijacked that amount and disappeared. They think they could, but the fact that it's stuck, now there's a potential this could be rectified the right way. There's SEC involved, there are governments involved, there's like whatever, the attorney general or the prosecutor in the UAE, there's central bank, there's a
Dubai,
few, and so
you have nothing to
it
do with the
passed
SEC.
that stage with the payment processor themselves, okay? It's ahead of that. So it requires that. If this is done in our favor at the end, I'm just saying that, okay, who knows? Good, short, easy. But this is not going to happen this month or next month or even the following month. I'm going to be very clear with you. Hypothetically, we don't succeed to do it, okay? Hypothetically. I'm not giving service in any way to the criminals who stole our money and our properties, okay? Or they think they got away with it. Not yet, okay? It's not over. First of all, you're going to face hell on earth, okay, a
Oh,
few
my Lord.
times to the rest of your life. And the minute you die like a dog, okay, you're going to go, obviously, to hell. Infinitely. Eternally.
I don't believe
So
in that.
because of that, however this ends up, do you think Ash Mufareh is the type of guy that, let's say, Bob Takusi or Brother John or whoever here, Jean or sister, anyone, okay, anybody has $5 commissions? Do you think I would ever rest, ever in my life, rest without clearing up the right way?
Have you not been sleeping for the last 7 years, or?
But the right thing is those commissions are to pay. And that the criminals don't get away with that fun. It's that simple. And this is not a 5-day process. So until that is, let's say we exhaust all of our efforts to recover those funds and other things, right? Then we'll talk about other options.
What?
But make no mistake, whether you're moving to the next chapter or whatever you do,
Whatever you do.
or if somebody is not even with us,
Oh, my
we
Lord.
will find a way to make this right. I don't need this money.
I
And
doubt you're
even
gonna
if I have it,
for
just
people.
hypothetically, today, okay, those commissions is not right to pay it and let the criminals get away with your money and the employees' money, payroll and all of that. So do you understand? We have to go that route first, but it's not a quick process. We believe justice will always prevail, okay?
It's in evidence, your
See
money.
it?
Your money is in evidence until this case is taken care of.
That's what I wanted to say. I know it's a little bit
Mo left for Egypt, so you're
preachy
gonna
and
be
all
waiting a
that,
while.
but be clear that when we move to step one, you've got to clean all those scattered confusions. Then we move on to that chapter. Or we'll reveal
I
what
like
step
how it
one
went
is.
from 40 million to 52 million in a week or 2 weeks, I guess.
Back
That's
to you,
great.
Houston or Michigan.
Very good, Ash. Thank you very much. And thank you for
That's
the time
it?
you've given us today.
That was nothing.
Excuse me. I want to start off by
You people are
saying
insane.
if you have a question within the topic of for Ash, please raise your hand You are not required to speak. There's a lot of you here. That's because we want to get a lot of faces on here. And I see a couple hands going up, and I will call you this time in order because we have a mixed bunch of everybody. So let's start with my beautiful sister, Miss Megan Mitchell. Come on, Megan. Unmute, Meg. There you go.
I am. I don't really have a question. I just wanted to share something that's been on my mind. First of all, I wrote some notes down because otherwise I might just get off topic. Hopefully you'll find a little bit of value in this. First of all, thank you for inviting me on. It's an honor, and I do appreciate it.
I do like Sherry's hair.
This
She
is
looks
for
good.
me, it's a
Looks way
journey
better.
of hope, faith, resilience, and patience. And I believe that seeing some of the analogous themes in life helps us to make sense of the trials, both big and small. I've talked about this before, but plants and gardening are one of my passions. I have no formal training, only some experiences with both positive and negative results. Last year, I planted a new perennial sunbed, and anytime I plant a seed, it's an exercise in hope and faith, just like the seeds that you planted in this company. Even with all of the necessary preparation, we can never be certain that the seeds will produce. Patience is key. I often wonder how many times I've prematurely ripped up a plant or a seed that would actually produce. You took great care in the development of your dream, just like the preparation of a garden. I cannot predict the unusually cold winters, the extra rain that rots the roots, or the deer that foraged on the plant when it was tender. Shortly after finishing my new bed, I came across some information about black walnut trees and the juglon toxin that they leach into the soil. I had created my new bed just outside the canopy of a black walnut tree.
This is awful. Off the stage. Boo!
You couldn't know the canopy of founders, business partners, and employees that would leach poison into your company when you created your dream. Wisdom is knowing when to push forward or when to give up. You never left the garden, but continuing to plant an unsuitable plant in the garden would be foolish, just as you said about OnPassive. With hope, I continued to care for my bed, patiently waiting to see what would survive. Not everything is meant to remain, only the resilient. The same can be said with founders in old parts of this journey. But those of us with faith and resilience know that the miracles are happening beneath the ground. The roots are growing stronger, and what seems dead is only regenerating. Early this spring, I felt the angst of seeing the barren ground, and I believe that some founders kind of feel that way about our current situation. But
Blink
like I
twice, I'll
said,
come
those of
save
us
you.
with faith, we know that there's miracles happening that we can't see. I'm happy to say that my bed is abundant with regrowth. Not all survived just as it's meant to be, because I often overplant and get ahead of myself, just like you said we did with OnPassive. I will make the most of this garden and start any new ones with discernment and new knowledge about things such as the black walnut. There's no windows to the underground. We just have to have patience and faith. I believe there are miracles happening beneath the soil of this company. And I just wanted to thank you for inviting us to your garden and allowing us to grow with it. Perhaps in the future, one of my beds might even be a bed of pumpkins. Some of you will get that, and some of you won't.
Like, I want Ash in my
Thank
bed.
you so much.
Very good, Megan. I got it. Brother Ash, you still there? Did you go get a drink of water or something?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for caring. Just if you allow me, I think if you like, we can shut it down as far as recording. And if there are comments, feedback, or questions, that would be considered as a bonus for the live attendees. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
All right.
Chris,
Yes.
Chris, it's Jerry Nix. I'm going to have to leave pretty soon. I just wanted to say a few things if I could.
You
Jerry, go right
Chris,
ahead.
I'm delivering
You
groceries
jinxed
for
us. You jinxed us so much that their stream stopped, apparently. Albs, this is all your fault. OnPassive? Hello?
Welcome to page 3. Very, very excited today.
Oh, they
As you
stopped
can see,
it.
I believe that some founders kind of feel that
They stopped it over here. Oh my. Well, let's see. Let's see if Julie's is still going. That was 15 hours ago. They might have stopped it on us, guys. Maybe they're not doing the questions live anymore. We might have to wait until they upload the video. I do have to be honest, though. I'm not completely upset. I'm kind of like, oh, we're done for the day. Oh, thank God, you know? Kind of just excited about it. I'm kind of like, thank God we're done. Oh, wow, this is so profound. It really was. These people probably do want to do good, but why, oh, why try and do it through Ash and OnPassive just proves it's a cult. It really does, though. Ash is the worst person to choose. But, I mean, that's where they chose to go. You blame Jerry. It was all his fault. It was all his fault. He probably turned off the feed instead of just stopping the recording. Maybe. Maybe he did that. Maybe. They pulled the wrong plug in the hospital. So he says. Oh no, is Marty okay? Should we check on him? Oh my. Oh no, that would be awful. That would be awful. I'm going to see if I can find it. If it is still going somewhere, but I really don't think it is. All of them seem to have stopped, even on Marty and Chris's channels. So I think that they stopped it. I wonder, though, if they are going to repost up the question and answer session. Not that, you know, we actually need it. It's just good for us to kind of see how people are taking in Ash's weird speech, and then they basically praise him as a god, and it's really good proof that this thing is culty. But I mean, it's not like my channel doesn't have several examples of this. You know, like Violet says, it's kind of a relief, right? It was like, oh, you mean we're not doing 5 hours of this? Okay. I don't think that was what they were planning. Ash said the question and answer would be a bonus for the people who watch live, unless he was talking about only the people that were on the Zoom, but that's lame. It might have been, which is kind of funny because that is lame, because the Zoom link only seems to go out to certain people. I believe that they send it out in an email to each other in one of the private groups. And that's why I also believe it's the same people over and over again. Even when they're like, oh, it will be different people this week, it's like always the same people. There might be like 3 or 4 new faces, you know, but like for the most part, I think it's because the link goes out in the exact same, you know, like email chain or group message to the exact same people every time. And then maybe they just send it out to like, you know, like a handful of other people to come on, you know, because they don't post it in the back office anymore. So there's no way, unless you're in this secret group with them, which That's probably the smartest thing that they've ever done, honestly. You blame Kanye West, we'll just blame him for everything from now on. Sounds good. I need a moment to recover. No one would have asked any relevant questions anyway. See, and that's the thing, is that it would be one thing if the question and answer session was actually open. As you saw, that girl read a statement because she was told in advance she would be speaking. I feel like they have always told people in advance who's speaking and told them to get like a speech ready or get their questions ready. But then it just ends up being them coming on and being like, we knew that Ash Mufareh wouldn't leave us in the dust. He's such a great man. We're all so excited for OnPassive. Down with those dirty dogs that robbed us. God can't stop us. We'll just keep going. It's just a lot. My name is Ash Mufareh, and I am lame. He really is. My name is Ash Mufareh, and I am a llama. My name is Ash Mufareh, and I am fucked. I thought that he was going to say it all again, but he didn't.
My name is Ash Mufareh, and I'm your friend.
He hasn't said it in a while. He went through a little phase where he was saying it for like every single live stream. All right, so what did we hear? You know, apart from hearing about rockets and mangoes, I felt like that was the most roundabout way. Okay, I feel like Ash was trying to say that the movement that got started with OnPassive, basically the cult, is not going to be over, but that the business aspect of OnPassive is very much over. Like, they can't continue to use the brand name OnPassive. He pretty much said today, like, we have, you know, is it just going to be a name change? So obviously it's a new name, right? It's a brand new name. So then he's like, you know, we're not going to just come back out with the exact same products. We have to come up with something better, which shouldn't be too hard because they weren't great to begin with. You know, I have cheated nobody. I have cheated nobody, especially millions of Indians. But Ash Mufareh definitely has. And you should certainly hold him accountable for that. But I feel like that's what he's like trying to say, although he for some reason doesn't just say that. So he keeps trying to say it in a way that implies that OnPassive is still going to be a company. It's not going to shut down. And I feel like part of this is just because he doesn't want to admit that we're right. When we came out and we said OnPassive is shut down. OnPassive shut down June 27th, 2024. Okay? When the OES went down and your products went down and all of that, right? That's when the company was over. AWS shut down all your stuff. They have your data, right? You're not going to get it back unless he goes and pays. He says his words is that he owes them $3.4 million. It's probably more than that. He's probably lowballing it, to be honest. I would if I were him. And so I feel like it's been over since then. He's just kind of trying to keep it alive because it's very much a cult now. It's turned into a cult of personality. As we were kind of explaining to Danny the other day, like it kind of always has been turning into that. It's been that way for a while. But, you know, once the business really shuts down and then you really see everyone still kind of holding on to the dream, it really does show you, like, look, this thing is really a cult. I don't think Ash wants to admit that he is losing to the SEC. I got the impression from the way he was talking today that they did not accept his settlement. And I've said it this whole time, I don't feel like the SEC was going to accept a settlement, because I don't think that Ash's ego would ever allow him to admit that he was wrong, to say, yes, I'll shut this down. I mean, as you heard today, right? And then also like to agree to not do anything else in the future, and also agree to pay back the $108 million. I feel like in order for the SEC to accept any settlement of his, he would have had to have agreed to do at least one or two things that they said that they wanted. That's usually how a settlement goes. It's kind of like a mediation without a mediator. Okay, so when you're doing a settlement, you usually have to agree to one or two of the things that the other side is asking for. And then you can also offer up your own, you know? So maybe he could say, I'll pay back the $108 million. I'll shut down OnPassive, but I do not want you to give me the director's bar. And that's kind of what I want to get out of this settlement. And then maybe the SEC might have been like, okay, maybe we'll accept it. I doubt it. They have a very high conviction rate. And if they go to court with this, they're pretty good. They're going to win. I'm not worried. You shouldn't be either. But it's like, I just didn't see that happening. Ash had already tried to have it dismissed. It didn't work. Also because the judge didn't want it dismissed. So that's when it's kind of like also out of his and the SEC's hands, you know? Like the judge was also like, no, I think we need to go ahead. Like that's kind of what happened there. The SEC doesn't get to decide that. You know, they can be like, no, we don't want it to be dismissed. But then the judge is the one who ultimately says whether or not it gets dismissed. And they were like, no. So I had a very hard time seeing Ash all of a sudden agreeing to things. And I figured that his settlement is probably like, how about we did nothing wrong and you guys just go on your merry little way and then you let us continue what we're doing here. And I'll agree to work with the Dubai police in their investigation. And the SEC's like, that has nothing to do with us. We don't care about that. Like, what do you mean? Because I got the impression, based on how he was speaking about this today, that this settlement has not been reached. It sounds like he was basically telling everyone, like, we still have quite a road ahead of us with the SEC, and we'll have to see what happens now. I have no clue. So I'm thinking that the SEC was probably like, no, we're not accepting this. And then if that happens, by the way, basically then they apply to the court again and say, all right, we don't need the stay anymore. We're not accepting this settlement. You know, this 60 days are up. Can we now reschedule everything again to go ahead and take this to court? It does not just disappear. Ash seems to think that then it just poofs. Like that's how he was explaining it in past webinars, right? Like no matter what, this week, all of a sudden, there was just going to be no more case. You know, like that's how he was making it sound. But today I got the impression that we're probably going to have to go ahead with a court case here, which is kind of what I was expecting to have happen. Again, we should find out sometime this week. Sorry, what else did he say? At first, I thought that him bringing up the rockets and the moon landing and how it took 50 years for them to launch was going to be tied into like, oh, well, you shouldn't be upset about waiting 7 years over here because they took 50 and we're somehow better. And I think he started off with that, but then went on a huge tangent and then got into a whole bunch of other shit and then just lost his train of thought like he often does. So then we were just left with a lot of talk of him comparing himself to Elon Musk, I felt like, which he really likes to do. He thinks he's at that level and that he's that respected in the world. He thinks that these people fear him. And he has convinced the people in OnPassive that that is why he can't be successful, is because all of the big leagues here are trying to stop him from saving humanity. You know, like Elon Musk and Bill Gates and everyone's just like, every day they have a meeting and they're like, this Ash Mufareh guy is really going to save humanity. And we have to make sure that he doesn't release O-Connect so that we can stop him. And that's really like a lot of the stuff that's going on. I wanted to hear the panel too, Jelly. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I said I was upset that this was over. I think this was a total disaster. Yeah, I don't know why he went live today. There wasn't any update. Like, this is supposed to be page 3, so to him, he was explaining more of what happened. I don't feel like we got any more. We really didn't get any information. He didn't explain anything else to us that I could say was like different than the past webinars. The last 2 that he's showed up for. It was all just the same thing. Is this company really working? No. No. It is a scam. Nobody's working. Although I also felt like today he also implied that there would be people working. And I have no clue what he's talking about. Because he doesn't have offices. All right, he didn't pay the rent. That's the other thing. If this ever does turn into even a new company and Ash is in charge of it, again, we're starting in the minuses. And now it's even more than I thought, because I thought that the commissions for the O-Connect was 40 million. That's what he had said in the past. Today it became 52 million, which I believe that he has said that number once before too, and I was kind of confused on that. But today it was 52 million owed. So there's 160 million that you're in the hole when this starts up. You know? That's not really a great start for a company. I'm just saying. I don't feel like they're going to have any money. And they are going to ask you to buy in again. So it's just a very, very weird thing that he says that you won't have to. Alb says it's okay. I'm pretty sure most of the people that were on that panel are stupid. Like, really stupid. He never says anything meaningful, always evasive with his words, just a big word salad. It was an extremely roundabout way of him telling us that OnPassive, the company is over, but he hopes that the movement and the cult continues. You know, they are the stars, and he is the most important star. And I feel like on their webinar, if it's continuing on right now, they're just all coming on and saying, oh, Mr. Ash Mufareh, sir, thank you so much. I love you so much, and praising him. And that's really all it is. But I do appreciate all of you coming and hanging out here with me so that we could watch what Ash says. And if they do upload the full stream, then this week we will get together and we will watch the panel and see what happened. But I don't know if they're going to. Maybe they're doing that in secret now. They're like, now we have to do all of our cult stuff in secret. And that was something else he said. He said that in the new one, it's going to be like an invite-only thing. So not everyone is going to be invited. That freaks me out a little bit. Because if we start to create OnPassive now as this elite club that you go into by invite only, that's even more of a cult than it was when we were just getting random people to join at any time. I mean, it adds a whole new layer to it. So I guess we'll just have to see. Yeah, invite scam only. But thank you so much for coming and hanging out here with me. I feel like that's really all I can ramble on now. I don't want to ramble on too much more because we just went through quite the rambling. And if you got through that with me, I appreciate that. My head's still buzzing. So I hope that all of you have a fabulous, amazing, wonderful rest of your weekend. I did upload a video today on Nueva Global, so go and check that out and let me know all of your thoughts on it. Especially, to take a break from OnPassive. I am uploading a lot of videos. I don't know if there's going to be one tomorrow, but there might have to be a video on Monday instead of a stream. I'll let you guys know. I might have to do some more running around in my real life on Monday. Violet says, Ash is the cockroach that we can't move, isn't he? He really is. He really, really is. We'll have to see what happens and what blows up next time. But yeah, I'll see you guys all really soon, probably on Tuesday with the stream. Have a wonderful rest of your weekends. And yeah, like always, I love all your faces and we're in it to win it. Let's go.
My name is Ash Mufareh, and I'm your friend. My name is Ash Mufareh, and I'm your friend.
I'm Mike Ellis, by the way.
Call me Reverend Jim Jones, okay? Let's go to Guyana, all right? No joke. Is that the call?
Hey.
Friend.
That negative YouTube channel has got more followers on it than I do on my own. And it breaks my heart.
And I'm your friend. My name is Ash Mufareh. If you're rude, if you've been doubting or sighing, or we know who you are.
Stop going there. She wants to be the first to make us look silly. Yeah, Queen of Karma's on there asking for a debate. That's the lady I brought on. Her debate was Screaming at Ash. And another Queen of Karma asking about why don't we answer the question about religion. I think we've answered that over and over again.
I've been answering them all morning long. It's not the answer you want, but
Yeah.
call me Reverend Jim Jones, okay? Let's go to Guyana, all right? No joke.
All right, this is a great way to start your day. Come here and tune into crazy men talking about their experiences.
My name is Ash Mufareh, and I'm your friend.
I'm Mike Ellis, by the way.
And I'm your friend.
Stop going there. That negative YouTube channel has got more followers on it than I do on my own YouTube channel. It breaks my heart.
And I'm your friend.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Have a great weekend.
My name is Ash Mufareh.
Stop going there. Yeah, Queen of Karma's on there.
My name is Ash Mufareh, and I'm your friend.
Let's go to Guyana.